All right, chat. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and it's part 2 of working on this gouache painting. Last week, we saw, and we tried to conquer, but we didn't finish it. So we're coming back today to hopefully finish it. Good Abend. Hey, Gecko. Guys, I'm having a little trouble with chat being slightly delayed. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to fix it next stream. I can't fix it right now. So if you hear me respond to someone, just give it a second, and then it should come in on the stream display. But at least we have music today, right? That's a win. Last stream from last week, we had no music, and that was a little sad. Thankfully, we got music today because my ad block's working again. And guys, I was smart. I was having like so much trouble with the paper buckling, and then I was like, wait a minute. I don't use the little clips anymore. I use this cork board and these like football helmet pins to not pins. What are these called, guys? Not staples. Sometimes I wonder if I can even speak English. These are tacks. That's what it is. I use these little football tacks to hold down the paper. I'm having trouble with art streamers singing off key. It's a shame since I want to enjoy what they're working on. Yo, that's probably gonna be me though, cause I do be singing off key, but I can't help it, guys. I get into the music, you know. It happens sometimes. Sometimes the melody's so good. Sometimes I feel like, you know, it's like I was watching somebody was live streaming the BTS concert, and the person who was live streaming it was singing along with their songs, and I was like, oh my word, their singing's not that great. But then I was like, this dude is having the time of his life. He may be singing out of key, but like you could tell he was into it. He was here for the music and the vibes, and I was like, you know what? That's actually really wholesome. And good for him, I guess. Diese kleinen Clips kenne ich gar nicht. Echt praktisch. Eine gute Sache. I didn't know about these little clips at all. Really handy. Yeah. Fun fact. This is like a really old corkboard. And these little like American football helmets, some of them, like their stickers came off, but it's like for each team. And this was my dad's when he was a kid. So now I'm using it. I'm talking about the ones who force it. Oh, like they pretend they can't sing in tune. I got you. But yeah, these are great because like the pin, I don't stick it into the paper. I like stick it next to, and then because the tack is so big on top, it will, you know, you can just slide it over the paper and it just kind of holds it down. Which is pretty nice. And I can even put some ones in the center. It depends how this goes once it gets wet. We're gonna have to see what happens. Alright, what do I need, chat? I need paints. I need paints. Alright, we got paints. Also, how is everyone doing? We made it through halfway of the work week. How do I want to set this up? Water here? No, it's casting a shadow. That's not good. I'll put water to the side here. And then I'll put the paints. I'll put the paints here. Hold up, chat. We gotta do a little reorganizing. Let me push this to the side a little more here. Yeah, that seems good. Just want to make sure you guys can see mostly what I'm doing here. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, that'd be good. That way my water, I have like a towel down, so if I spill it, it's gonna be all right. Is up there with people who vocal fry a thing? It sounds attractive, it just sounds like that throat full of, oh no, that's not good. Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever heard that before, but that doesn't sound pleasant. That does not sound pleasant at all. Okay, chat, we need a game plan. First, I need a drink of coffee because I decided I was way too tired and I needed another cup. So I'm gonna take a drink. quick, and then we got a game plan. Alright, I'm now caffeinated and hydrated. Ich musste mein Bild mit dem Horror-Charakter in der Nachtsicht leider aufgeben. Oh no, ich habe es total vermasselt. Viel zu schwierig. That's okay, Gecko. You know, I have like a whole folder full of like failed paintings. But you probably learned a couple things, so I would call that a win. It sounded really difficult though. The fun part, like give it a year or so, you could try doing that painting again, and it'll be interesting to see, like maybe you'll feel you ready at that point. And so it's a cool way of like seeing your skill growth. They say one of the best things you can learn to do is know when to give up. And it sounds kind of like disheartening, but it's like, no, it's true. There's nothing wrong with giving up. That takes a lot of courage too. I think one of the BTS members said that. So don't quote me, guys. I'm quoting him. Alrighty. Game plan. Let me pull up the reference. I'm thinking clouds need a little attention. Also thinking we need some like blending here. That's gonna need some work. If I ever work with a vocal fry person, I'd wind them up. Hey, you want a cough drop? Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, singing's hard though, guys. You almost have to like, yeah, you kind of feel, you gotta have some empathy because it's harder than it looks. Or it feels, question mark? I don't know. It's like, it takes so much like training to know like which muscles to use to reach certain tones. Like, I don't even know. I want to learn how to sing, but I don't know if I can do it. Es gehört alles zu meinem Lernprozess, denke ich. Ich muss nicht von mir erwarten, direkt am Anfang alles richtig zu machen. That's exactly right, Gecko. Don't feel like you have to do everything. You have to do everything perfect. When I was just starting, that was like the biggest thing that ruined the fun for me. And so, yeah, it sounds like you're on a much better path than I was when I first started learning. I have some regrets with the way I would I would treat myself after I failed something that I really wanted to have work out. But we live and we learn, right? So Gecko, you're ahead of the game. You are ahead of the game. I say save it for karaoke night. Yo, karaoke's the best. It's so fun. The real Gecko and Emma, it's me, the Wind. Oh, yo, the Wind, how you doing? I can't stay for the stream, but I want to let you know I haven't forgotten about y'all, and I hope y'all are good. Also, I am almost done revamping the kingdom. Okay, bye, love y'all. Yo, thanks for stopping by, the Wind. Good to see you're all right. It's been a hot minute. I'm glad you stopped by to tell us that. Maybe on another stream, you'll have some more time. Yeah, I think the last time we talked to the Wind guys, he was telling us about they were going on a trip to Texas or something. So that's kind of fun. What about you guys? You guys like to do you do like your vacations in summer? Or are you guys like, what do you think? Winter vacations or summer vacations? Like, not necessarily that you're doing something wintry or summery, but like the time of year you prefer to vacation. What do you guys think? I think I'm like a winter vacation person because summers here are really nice and I don't really feel like I need to escape, but the winters here are not nice. And so I think I'm a winter vacation kind of person. Yeah, we didn't go on vacations too much when I was a kid, but we had a family member. He used to live in Florida and like Tennessee, and we would visit her, my aunt, a lot. And so that always felt like vacation, which was nice, but we'd have like room and board and it wouldn't cost us a lot because, you know, vacations are expensive, guys. So even if you don't vacation, I like to just think of like hypothetically, if I had a lot of money, when or where would I vacation? I'm trying to think where would be like if I had nothing was stopping me, where would I go right now? I want to go to Japan, guys. I'm pretty basic. Everybody wants to go, right? But my speaking is terrible, so I'm not ready to go yet, but I want to. Like, I want to go, but we got to improve. I got to improve my speaking skills because they are really bad. I'm just adding some like color variation here in the sand, guys. Just because I want to give it a little variation, you know? Alright, what we got here? We do need to address these rocks, which I totally ignored last time. Kind of a problem. Urlaub ist tatsächlich sehr teuer und in den letzten 2 Jahren noch viel teurer geworden. Ja, das stimmt. Aber man kann auch zu Hause einen schönen Sommer verbringen. That is so true, Gecko. Yeah. When's the last time? I was lucky enough that my brother, he wanted to vacation in Bermuda. It was like the first vacation he's ever gone on. And he let me come along. So that was probably the first vacation I've had since I was very young when we used to go to Florida. But like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to go, you know? Like, I paid for my flight, but that was all I could afford. So yeah, it's just like Gecko said, it's getting like more and more expensive. And I think a lot of people are trying to find ways where they can do things wherever they're planted and, you know, try to make the most of their life with building memories locally with people they know in the places they live. I feel like upsides of that is like you kind of get to know your area better. I feel like we actually need to darken. I don't know. Actually, let's do a little bit. Let's do a little bit on this grass because I'm like having a hard time gauging how dark I need to make the sand because we haven't figured out how dark our grass needs to be. And this grass up here is kind of like browny yellow color, so we're just gonna put that in there. And there's a little patch that comes up here. And we'll have to work this into the background to blend it a little bit. Yeah, that feels a little bit closer. And we'll mix it with a little more green, a little less yellow. I was watching someone on YouTube paint with gouache, and guys, I think I'm not being brave enough. Like, I think I'm doing good at a start with like getting the base fills in, but I don't think I'm truly taking advantage of the gouache's ability to be layered. So I'm hoping we can do a little of that today. Really keep like layering and playing around, you know? Let's see what we can do. Actually, I should probably not put that there. I'm gonna cast a shadow. Alright, we need a little bit of this. A little bit of that. Kind of want to blend out some of these edges here. Because there's kind of like little bits of grass that are coming out. Just wee little sprigs here. Also, you know what I was watching over the weekend, guys? They had a like a weekend marathon on YouTube of Bob Ross episodes, and it was really good. Neulich habe ich einen Post darüber gesehen, dass BTS vor ein paar Jahren in das Weißhaus eingeladen wurde. Ziemlich beeindruckend und sehr cool. Yeah, I actually watched that live, Gecko. Funny thing, that was like the most views the White House has ever gotten on any of their broadcasts. I'm pretty sure. You guys can fact check me because I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it was really crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was a proud army that day. That's like the fan name for BTS's army. But it was really cool. Yeah. I was like, that must feel like crazy for them. Yeah, BTS is the GOAT. Yeah, guys, don't get me going because then I'll get really excited. We gotta stay focused. Yeah, but it was really, really cool. It felt like kind of surreal watching it. It was cool when they did their tour in Mexico a couple months ago. They even got to meet the president of Mexico, and then they did, I wouldn't call it like a speech, but they spoke a little like out on the balcony, and there was like hundreds of thousands of army that had gathered in like just an hour or so. It was crazy. Das muss ja wahnsinnig aufregend für die Jungs von BTS gewesen sein. Ich wäre total nervös. It was crazy. I know they talked about it. I feel like they did. I'm trying to think. Sometimes, usually, if they do stuff like that on BTS's YouTube, they'll do like kind of like a little short video series, kind of about the event, and there'll be some like behind the scene clips. So I'd be totally nervous, bro. I would have been so nervous too. Yeah. I would have been very nervous. Especially since they all had to like if I remember right, they all had to like read something. Oh my gosh. But I guess they're really used to like speaking to the press and interviews and stuff, so they're pros at it. Yeah, but it was really cool. Yeah, BTS is huge, guys. We just add a little tree in here. Boy, I feel like Bob Ross today. Happy little trees. Let's add a little more blue in here. Because I feel like I need to make it cooler at the base. Da, 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 da. A little bit cooler in here. Alrighty. Trying to think here. What do I want to do next? Also, I feel like every time I swish my brush in the water, the looser and looser this piece becomes. And I'm hoping it doesn't break off. Here's hoping it doesn't. Oh, guys, I'm sorry about shaking the camera. Hold still, camera. Alright, we're gonna do the rocks. I've been putting this off for way too long. We're gonna do the rocks. Let's do a little bit of brown. A little bit of purple. Make a grayish brown purple. Just gently tap that in here. I think we need to make the ocean back there darker too. You know? I'm feeling a little pessimistic about being able to finish this today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. All right, let's darken up the water. I think we did like a gray, like a gray green. Just gradiate that a little bit. Although I probably should have waited for the rocks to dry. Mein Pinsel verlieren einsehende Haare, wenn ich damit male. Ist das normal? Vielleicht sollte ich mir bessere Pinsel kaufen. Okay, so I've gotten like good ones too, and they'll lose. Like this one isn't a cheap one. Well, this is kind of cheap. I would say it is normal gecko, but if it's losing like excessive hair, then it's kind of annoying. You could try getting some better ones, but take it from someone who doesn't have much money. I have painted for years with brushes that are just like shedding hair all the time. As long as it isn't getting stuck in the paint, you can brush it off once it dries. It really just, it depends how much is coming out. I have worked with some brushes where like it is literally coming out. Like just doing this to the brush and the hairs will come out, then that's definitely gonna be probably too hard to work with. But the more expensive the brush doesn't necessarily mean that it won't lose some hairs. Like, I think when I first bought this one, I would say this is like a mid-tier brush. When I first bought this one, it did lose a couple hairs, but now it hasn't been losing any. So it could be just in like manufacturing. There were ones that just didn't get glued into, you know, like the base here. There is that factor. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't have. So this brush came with these like gouache paints, and I would say this is a cheap brush, but so far I haven't had any trouble. So it's kind of like, I don't know if there's a straight answer to that, but like usually upgrading will help with the hairs falling out. But you know, if eventually like they stop falling out, it could be it was just the loose ones that were there. But if it doesn't, then it might become annoying and you might want to try a new one. Okay, dann ist das also etwas, das öfter mal vorkommt. Okay, then it's something that happens quite often then. Okay. Yeah, you might want to, if it keeps falling out though, and it bothers you, you can try getting some better ones. If you get them online, try reading the reviews, or if you go to the store, you can try like just like kind of like doing this with the bristles gently. Like I'm not tugging them. And if ones keep coming out, you'll know. Also, I don't know if this is like a rule, but when I do my watercolor paint, bro, I'm losing my voice. I actually make sure my water is like cooler, because I could be wrong. Guys, don't quote me on this, but I do think they use some glue up in this section, don't they? Along with like pinching it to hold the bristles in. And my thinking is that like, well, warm water usually starts to, you know, like loosen glue up. So I'll use like cooler temperature water so that the water doesn't heat the glue up in the bristles. But I know that really, really good brushes won't have any glue in them, and they're just like pinched shut. But these are like cheap, so I'm pretty sure there's glue in here too. But that's another thing I do to try and keep my brushes, you know, lasting longer. I don't know if it's actually working though. But I haven't tested it with hot water because I'm too afraid to, because brushes are expensive. Y'all ever see the brushes that are made with like squirrel hair? Those are expensive. Yeah, all my brushes are synthetic. At least I'm pretty sure. I think they say that like the natural hair holds more water or something, but I've never used one, so I can't tell you if there's really a ginormous difference. Maybe someday if I'm given one. I don't think they harvest the hair by killing the animal, hopefully. That could be another good reason not to do it, though. And just stick with the synthetic. Like, I really don't need a squirrel hairbrush that bad. Now, what they could do is just like all the poor little squirrels that get smushed on the road, they could use their fur. That way it's not wasted. But other than that, I don't know. Alright, we got some like lighter... Got some like lighter pink... like pinkish tops on the plants back here. Yeah, it's been a while since I did any studying on like brushes and how they're made. So guys, don't quote me on anything that I say. Because I'm not professional. I don't know that much about brushes. You know, I just stick it in the paint and go at it, but I know there's a lot of differences in material. I'm just not quite sure. That might be an interesting rabbit hole to study at some point. What do I want to do here? I think I'm using too small of a brush. Let's use this big one again. I'm gonna do a pretty heavy wash of blue over these trees. Because they're actually not... Kind of like using dry brush here. What happens to me is I end up slowly expanding the tree line taller and taller as I go over adding more layers. So I need to make sure I don't go too crazy doing that. Yeah. That should be fine there. Gotta keep it looking pine tree-ish. And then actually we can bring it down a little bit here. Kind of negative space paint out these little taller grass pieces and brush around here. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. A wee bit better. All right, we need to address the elephant in the room, and that is the lighthouse. It's just, I don't know, it needs something. Ich habe gerade gesehen, dass bei einem meiner Bilder sogar leider bei dem einzigen, das mir halbwegs gelungen ist, tatsächlich 2 oder 3 Haare festkleben. Ich hoffe, ich kann die noch entfernen. Yeah. Is that with watercolors, Gecko? If it's stuck, it depends how like thick the paint's on. Now, if it's acrylic, that's gonna be a bit more difficult. You could try using a tweezers to pull it out. Sometimes you can like wet your brush. Problem is it will pick up some paint and just kind of like rub it a little bit. Yeah, Wasser popping genau. I think you'll be able to remove it. Try to think what's the safest way to do this. You could try just using a like a tweezers to kind of like grab the hair and pull it. But like try not to like grab and like scrape the paper. And I think it should come off. I mean, like watercolor, like usually once it's dry, like you can touch it and rub it. But if you want, you might want to be careful because like oils are on our hands. So you could use like a soft rag to gently like brush it. Just make sure your rag is dry and not wet. That may help. If it's really stuck on there, you may have to scrape it a little. But I think eventually it should come off. Alright, I'm gonna blend a little bit of white into this. And a little bit more. I used to have a lot of trouble with the hair coming out on my oil paintings. And those would be a big problem when they got stuck. Okay, danke, ich werde das versuchen. Yeah, let me know if it works. Hopefully I didn't just give you terrible advice. Alright, that helped blend that out a little bit. Now we need to darken it up though. Just keep layering this, building it gently. Oh man. Alright, I do need to kind of like turn my canvas. We got a slight dilemma here. This looks darker in person. I think I'll just leave it for now. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it. What do I need? What do I need? More white paint, maybe? Yeah, we're just gonna work this in here, lighten it up a little bit. Put it on the side. Still a little bit wet, so I'm hoping this blends it. Alright, that seems good. Hey, Velvet! Happy Wednesday! How's it going? We're trying to rescue this lighthouse here. Like, we're trying to do a little blending. But then I think I ruined the side. Let's see if I can soften that out. Oh dear. Maybe I can't. Oh no, wait. Slight moment of crisis. Going good, how about you? You know, I'm doing good. I was so tired that I brewed a second cup of coffee and now I feel like I'm waking up. Which reminds me, I should drink more of it before it gets cold. You know, guys, what do you guys think? Should coffee be drank black? Or are you guys on like team sugar and cream? I'm like a weird kind of like, I've like developed the way I drink coffee over the years, and I would drink it almost black for a while. But then my dentist said not to do that because it's too acidic and it was bad for my teeth. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna add some creamer. Actually, after that, I quit coffee for like a year or two. Then I got back into it because Lord knows I can't live without coffee. And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put like creamer in it. So I got into like drinking cream. But these days, guys, like these days, I'm like, I need sugar too. So I'm now like cream and sugar. I'm like, I try to avoid eating too much sugar everywhere else in my life. So I'm like, you know what, darn it. I'm gonna put freaking sugar in my morning coffee, just a little, because, you know, you need that little bit of joy in the morning to kind of like, I don't know, give you that little bit of dopamine so you can make it through the day. Black if single source beans. Dessert coffee is low quality beans. Okay, that's fair. I have heard that like if you have really good coffee beans, that black coffee is good. Someday I'd like to try that. But we have like a decent brand, but it's no like bougie coffee by any means. Also ich trinke nur manchmal schwarzen Kaffee, aber meistens mit einem bisschen Zucker und einem Schuss Milch. Yeah, that's a good, that's pretty much how I drink it too, get-go. My afternoon coffee is dark roast, meh beans, oat milk, sugar, and a pinch of salt. Ooh, the salt sounds nice. I did that once, I think. I don't know why I stopped. Because I love salt with chocolate, and I feel like that would give the same vibes. Yeah, but I feel like if I could get the bougie beans, I feel like I'd be a black coffee drinker. But then I'm like, I don't know if I should. Although, don't they say, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, don't they say that the better beans aren't that acidic? Because that's the trouble I have, where I'm not supposed to drink anything too acidic. But I guess if I like brush my teeth right afterwards, I'd probably be fine. Alright, we need to darken just a little bit on the top of this lighthouse here. Oh my word, details. Boom. Oh, my hand's shaking. Like, I gotta do the details. Alright. So in the reference, this shaded side of the lighthouse is really dark. I don't know if I want to do that. Central American coffee beans have less acidic, more chocolate taste. Oh my word, that sounds good. Gibt es da, wo du wohnst, ein Café in der Nähe mit richtig guten Kaffee? You know, Gecko, I'm not sure. There probably is. I'm not much of a like go out and like get food or drinks type of person just because I'm trying to save money. But there probably is one. There's probably more than one actually. So maybe I need to like, someday I'm like, yo, I want to treat myself, try a coffee, like a good coffee from one, like a place like that. That's what I gotta do. Let's see here. Am I gonna keep working the lighthouse? Yeah, I think I will. Let's darken this side down here a little bit more. Yeah, but I'm a chocolate lover, so that coffee sounds good. Gee, maybe this is too dark. Alright, we'll see what we can do with this here. A little white into here. Ich mache das auch selten, aber ich hole mir gerne einen Kaffee to go in der Bäckerei. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I'm like not a, I hate driving, guys. And so, bro, it's been a hot minute since I drove. I don't like to drive, so I'm kind of like, I do whatever I can, do it all. Like, guys, I want to try living somewhere where I don't have to drive to go literally anywhere. Not that I don't like I like driving like vehicles. Like, I think it's fun. It just really stresses me out, like driving on the road with everybody else, because it's like it's so high speed, and then it's like there's always crazy people, right? Yeah, just not fun. If you have a water kettle, there is an AeroPress coffee maker. Oh, I've had AeroPress coffee before. My when I was visiting my cousin, they had an AeroPress and it was good. Maybe I need to get one of those. We did like French press coffee for a while. But then we all got lazy and we ended up getting like a coffee pot, but it's also a like it'll heat water, so it's like multi-use. And we have like very little, I use it daily, nice. We have very little counter space, so we're like, okay, cool, this will heat our water and also make coffee. Dann würde es dir in Deutschland gut gefallen. Hier kommt man überall mit dem Zug oder Straßenbahn, Tram oder dem Fahrrad hin, obwohl wir ein Land von Autofahrern sind. Yeah, I have to say, it's very tempting to try living in Germany. I just have to make a bit more money. Though it is a initial $40 cost. I mean, that's not too bad, Velvet. Yeah, I would love to try visiting Germany at some point. Alright, guys, I'm feeling lost with this painting. I'm not sure where I want to go next. Maybe let's work on the rocks. Although I have to admit, guys, I think I'd be really anxious trying to like figure out the bus and the train system. But I guess it's worth it. It's worth it, right? I'm like the country bumpkin, you know? Like I've never been to the big city. It is not too bad, but can lead to other equipment like grinders. Good point. We have a coffee grinder because we do grind our beans. So we don't need one of those then. So it would just be the AeroPress. I'll have to look into that. Aber ich finde es interessant, dass du sowohl Tee als auch Kaffee trinkst. Die meisten trinken ja entweder das eine oder andere. Aber ich mag auch beides. Yeah, same. They'll say, ironically though, I didn't start drinking tea until like a couple years ago. Cause I didn't like it. But then we got like a black tea with like cinnamon and different spices in it. And then there was also another tea called Bengal Spice. It was so good. And I was like, oh, maybe I like this. So I'm not a big like fruit tea person, but it's growing on me. And here is the reason, guys. The reason is when I was a kid, anytime I got sick, my mom would make us drink tea. And she just put like honey in it. It'd usually be a fruit tea. And so I associated like drinking warm fruit tea with the feeling of being sick and having a sore throat. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to drink tea. But then I was like, well, why not? It's kind of delicious smelling. And so I was able to retrain my brain. But it's funny how things like go, you know? You get like one bad association with something and it takes you a while to change your mind about it. All right, I'm gonna darken up this ocean a little bit. There we go. Oh yeah, this is giving Jersey Shore. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about you guys? Do you guys have something that like you had to like eat when you were sick and now you're just like, I don't even want to touch that? Like, what else did we eat when we were sick? Usually like toast. I'm not a big toast eater anymore. Although toast is good. Toast is where it's at. Like, my mom will bake like sourdough bread and sourdough bread like right out of the oven with some butter. Oh, mamma mia, it's good. Indian black tea with milk, sugar, and cardamom is also a favorite. Ooh, that sounds good. Does food poisoning count? I think food poisoning does absolutely count. Yeah, I've never had food poisoning, but I've heard people who have, and it sounds terrible. Yeah, I think that absolutely counts. Bro, it'd be hard to eat the same thing again after that. We knew someone who got food poisoning from Taco Bell, and I really feel bad for them. And now whenever like past the Taco Bell, I don't think I've been to a Taco Bell in years. I can't help but think of that story. Meine Mama hat mir manchmal Apfelmus gemacht. Is that like applesauce? Wenn ich krank war, nicht mein Lieblingsessen, aber die Hühnersuppe, I think I pronounced that right, war unfassbar lecker. Die gab es, wenn ich erkältet war. I've never heard of that soup. Yeah, my other siblings loved applesauce, but for some reason I just hated it. I'm unable to eat Chef Boyardee canned foods. Oh my gosh. Man, I forgot about that brand. Is that how you got food poisoning? That does not sound good. Does sound like bad times, fam. All right, let's try and add some like highlight pieces in here. I don't even know if we can see that, guys. Did I even do anything? Yeah, food poisoning from that. Oh my word. That sounds terrible. Yeah, no wonder. I also would not be jumping to try some more of that. All right, we gotta layer this in here. Trusting the process. I'm trying to do what I was watching other artists do with gouache earlier this week. I cannot even look at the chef in the eyes and not feel betrayed. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that would leave like a pretty lasting, like kind of like trauma, honestly. You get like PTSD when you see it. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's ever a food. You know what I used to like when I was a kid, guys, and I say this to my siblings all the time. I used to like, there still is. There's like a canned tomato sauce and noodle soup called SpaghettiOs. I don't know if they have those in Germany. Hopefully not, because it tastes nasty. But I used to love them when I was a kid. The noodles were like little O shapes, and it was just like a tomato sauce, like tomato soup. But low key, like if I eat it now, it just tastes like an aluminum can. Bro, why are the AI viewer things always coming into my chat? Let me delete that. Get out of here. There we go. Yeah, but SpaghettiOs are not where it's at, guys. I'm over SpaghettiOs. Ganz früher in den 40er und 50ern und den 60er, I hopefully I pronounced that right. I'm trying to remember how to say dates. Haben Kinder in Deutschland warmes Bier gekriegt, wenn sie krank waren? Oh, yeah. I don't know what years it was here in the US, but I know they used to like give kids like warm whiskey or something. Wenn sie krank waren, ich glaube, früher wäre in Deutschland jedes Problem mit Bier gelöst. That's hilarious. I mean, you know, if it worked, right? SpaghettiOs has a way too much sugar as well. That is so true. It's tough with the canned foods. It's like, it's either way too much sugar and also way too much salt. And then somehow it still doesn't taste either sweet enough or saltier enough. I'm just like, what kind of sorcery are they doing to add all the salt and then have like pretty much like no flavor be in there? Yeah. I don't know what they do be doing. When we were kids, we used to watch like older TV shows, and one of the ones we watched was Little House on the Prairie, and I'm pretty sure there was an episode where they gave the kids like, it was like whiskey or something when they were sick. It is not the highest of lab created quality. That's a very true. Magst du Mac and Cheese? Das ist doch in den USA sehr beliebt. Ich habe das noch nie gegessen. Really? Kraft Mac and Cheese is excellent lab created cheese. Okay, I won't lie, chat. Kraft macaroni and cheese, it's like hits that level of nostalgia where even maybe if it's not the best, you still want to eat it. But in my opinion, macaroni and cheese, I like my mom's macaroni and cheese. She makes like a homemade version where she'll like shred the, she'll mix, I think it's like cheddar, usually like regular cheddar, white cheddar, and then she does cottage cheese in the mixture. She seasons it, and then usually we chop up actually like hot dogs and cook it in like the casserole dish with it. So you get kind of like the meaty flavor with the, actually it'd be good if you use like a higher quality sausage, but hot dogs are cheaper. You get like that meaty flavor with the sharpness of the cheddar. And then also like the cottage cheese is a nice, kind of makes it a little bit stringy as it melts. That's how I like macaroni and cheese and how I ate it growing up. But Kraft macaroni and cheese, you put some ketchup on it and it's like, I hate to say this, but I'd still enjoy it. I know it's like, it's giving like kids food, but you know, some of us are still a child at heart when it comes to certain foods. All right, we need to do something with these rocks. Actually, let's do a whole wash over this section here because it needs something. I'm just gonna clean the green out of here. Ketchup is an appropriate condiment with craft, literally. Yeah, Gecko, Americans love ketchup. Man, when we were kids, bro, we put ketchup on everything. We make my mom makes like a pasta salad in summer that has so it's like a mayonnaise type dressing on top. And it is so good after it's like marinated into the noodles to put a little ketchup on top. I would eat that for breakfast. I know it sounds crazy, but I'll eat anything for breakfast actually. The tomato / vinegar of the ketchup mixed with the cheese is a great combo. It really is, because you get like the fatty with the sharp. I'm just like, yep, that is, it's bussin', as the kids would say. All right, we need to like soften this color down here. There we go. Is that too dark? I don't know. Hold up, guys. I think chat may not be loading. That's kind of weird. It's like not updating. Because I'm seeing what Gecko said over on YouTube, but I'm not seeing it here in stream chat. Why? Yeah, Gecko, I see that. What the Harry's? Why is it being this way? Okay, let me try. Is there a way I can refresh this? Give me a second, guys. We're gonna try and problem solve this here. Hold on, let me test something. Do. Oh, why is chat? Okay, hold up. What? It's letting my message go through, but it's not letting Gecko's? All right, now I'm hella confused. Wait, can I? Hold up, Gecko. Let me see if I can fix this. It seems like YouTube. I can pin the message. Why is it being this way? Pin message. No, that's not what I need to do. All right, we might have to figure out how to get YouTube chat. Gecko, try say something again. But I'll read your message. Okay, so wie deine Ma das kocht, klingt das ziemlich lecker. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's better than like standard. Oh yeah, now it's coming in. I don't know why. Vielleicht hat YouTube mich gebannt, weil ich noch nie Mac and Cheese gegessen habe. Yo, that's YouTube. That's discrimination. Not everybody has eaten macaroni, okay? Yo, I'm gonna cancel YouTube. They keep this up. Yeah, Gecko, I don't know if you have Twitch. Maybe you'd have better luck over there. YouTube is such a pain. So far I haven't had trouble with Twitch. I haven't heard my brother Joe streams on Twitch too. He's never talked about chat doing that kind of thing. So I don't know. YouTube needs to they need to get their act together. Hopefully they don't ban me for dissing them, but the truth is the truth, YouTube. They need to hear it. Okay, this is good. I think we need to darken this down. Yeah, this is good. I think it was just too much. It was just too bright here in the foreground. Oh, you know what else we used to love when we were kids? It's called a Hot Pocket. It's kind of like a calzone, but very Americanized. But I don't really like them much now. I feel like they tasted better when we were kids. I think they probably cheaped out on the recipe now. But Hot Pockets were good. I like the pizza player ones. Ich schaue lieber auf YouTube zu, aber wenn es weiterhin Probleme gibt, werde ich zu Twitch wechseln. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Gecko. I don't know what to do to fix it. Because I've adjusted like chat moderation so that it's not like over moderating. I don't know if there's somewhere I can go to I don't know what. I was annoyed when they stopped carrying barbecue Hot Pockets. Oh, I don't think I ever tried that one. My younger sister loves barbecue. She probably would have loved that. Yeah, Gecko, I'm gonna, I know I keep saying this and then I never do it, but I need to, let me write this down. Let me write it down so I don't forget, chat. I swear I don't have Alzheimer's. I'm just very scattered some days. I need to Google like, I think, I don't know if it's because you're messaging in a second language. I need to figure out how do I get YouTube to, well, one, I'm glad it's not auto-translating because I definitely don't want it doing that. But I need to figure out if that's what its problem is. Ich habe schon von vielen Streamern gehört, dass sie Ärger mit YouTube haben. I've heard from a lot of streamers who keep having trouble with YouTube. Okay, it could just be YouTube. It really might be. And now I go shopping. Have a good stream. Yo, Velvet, thanks for chatting. I kind of hope that the barbecue Hot Pockets come back. I feel like I kind of want to try that. But happy shopping. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, fix YouTube chat. Alright, I got it written down. Alright, we darken this up. This is looking better. But the rocks, I think we're going to take some creative liberties with the rocks because they look very different in the reference. Like this shaded part was really, really dark. And I really don't want it to be that dark. Alright, let's see. Maybe wirst du demnächst mal einen Kochstream machen? I might at some point. So I'm back, like, I'm back home and I'm not visiting my sister anymore. So it's a little tough to cook in the kitchen here, sadly. Unless I could somehow figure out how to cook in my room. That would be kind of interesting. We could cook in a toaster. I got a toaster oven thing. Maybe I could do that. I want to do a cooking stream. Yo, we could do a cooking stream where I make, I make macaroni and cheese with my mom's recipe. That'd be kind of fun. Chat, you know what we need to do? We need, all right, we'll do a cooking stream, right? I have to figure out how to get the toaster to run in my room. And then we're gonna run it back and I'm gonna try and do the whole stream in German again. It'll be like cooking stream part 2. Because I feel like my German's gotten better. And I'm hoping I can actually do the whole thing this time. We gotta see how much I've improved, you know? Lighten up there. Ja, super Idee. Das finde ich gut. Da lerne ich da was. Die Wontons. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I made, guys. I totally forgot. Sahen ja auch sehr lecker aus. Those were good. The wontons, like, actually turned out. I do think I overcooked some of them, though, if I'm being honest, guys. And I think I should have rolled the dough a little thinner. What if I just made wontons again? Well, no. We'll do something different. We'll do something different. Because that took a lot of flour and it'd be kind of messy in my room. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Because then I'm going to have ants. And I do not want ants in my room. Alright, we need to add a little color here. Because maybe like the sand's kind of like coming up the edge a little bit. Yeah, I just feel like this is too dark here. Yeah, chat, maybe we figure out a cooking stream. Other thing I want to do is a sewing stream because we need to work on those hot bags that we were making patterns for. I think that was last week. I gotta just do it. I keep putting it off though. Yeah, this rock's a little too bright for my liking. It's gonna warm up the shadows a little. Really not in love with the contrast. Give it a little more harmony. Oh, you know, just thinking about macaroni and cheese, guys, going back. We're gonna run it back to the macaroni and cheese topic. When I was out visiting my sister, they took me to a place, I think it was like it was like semi-Italian, but also like, was it Mediterranean? But it was also like Americanized. So whatever you want to call that combo. They had a macaroni, and it was a barbecue macaroni, and they serve it in this like little baby skillet. So it's like one serving. And it was so good. I'm not a ginormous barbecue person, but that kind of like changed my mind. Because it was like kind of like the sharpness of the barbecue sauce. Kind of like ketchup, right? So similar to ketchup and macaroni, but like more elevated, you know? Kind of a little bougier. More complex spices. Really good. I wonder if I could like recreate that. I probably could. Probably could figure that out. Alright, I'm gonna add more yellow. More yellow in here. We also need some. Alright, we gotta open these paints. Chat, we're an hour in and I've barely done anything. I feel so like I'm painting so timid today. I don't know what is happening. It's easy to get started on a painting. It's hard to finish them. I think that's my issue. Alright, where's my palette knife? Oh, I don't have a palette knife. Hold up, chat. I gotta get my palette knife. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Palette knife acquired. Let's press the bottom back in here. Guys, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go crazy. I gotta stop being timid. If we ruin this painting, we ruin it. But in the best case scenario, we make it good. And so we're just gonna do it. Put some white paint there. Because I can't commit to putting it in one spot. What was the white paint for? Oh, that's right. We're lightening up this yellow. Because we need some lighter colors going here. Also, another stream idea, guys, I had. I used to make a lot of jewelry with like beads and wires and stuff back in my day, which actually wasn't that long ago. And I thought that might be kind of fun to get back into, to do on stream. It's another form of art, you know? Okay, I don't think I added enough yellow in this. It's like, yay, it's lighter, but now it's kind of missing color. How's that look? Das Bild gefällt mir jetzt schon richtig gut. Oh, thank you, Gecko. Yeah, it's missing. I don't know what it's missing actually at this point. I feel like I just gotta keep going with it. We just gotta keep going. Trust the process. Layer the paints. I'm just gonna add a little bit more out here. Maybe we just need to get a little Bob Ross with it and be like, oh, maybe there's like a little more grass out here. Maybe there isn't any there. Maybe there's more here. Like, I think I just gotta get a little wild with it and commit to painting. I'm also gonna shade the sand, I think, a little bit more. Let's add a little bit of this. I'm just trying to gray it down. Got a little texture in here. So my brush isn't super wet, so it's kind of using the texture of the paper to darken it just a little bit. That seems to be good. A little red in there this time. Darken it out with some green. Oh, that's a bit much. It's like we want it to be a little bit darker in there, but not crazy. All right, where's my little brush? Here we go. Let's do a little grass details in here. It's probably a bit strong, but we'll roll with it. Yeah, I think, Chad, the L with this painting is the reference. The reference has really boring lighting. It was midday and it was just like sun coming straight down. There's really no fun colors, no golden hour, no interesting light being cast. So I think we got to get a little creative. We're trying to make this look a little nicer. You know? Let's try getting some bright yellows in here. Then again, we've got to face the trouble we're having here with the rocks. Because the rocks are not looking great. But then again, the trees need some attention too. I want to work some of this green up into the trees, but I want to go too crazy with it. Just soften out the edge a bit. That actually looks nice. Adding a little brown in there. A little color variation. Oh, I think our music stopped. That'd be another fun thing we could do on stream. That'd be different but creative. You know, chat, I'm thinking about repainting my room. And one of the corner walls is kind of like a closet thing that comes out. And I'm thinking of doing like an accent wall painting on it. So it could be a mural. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do yet on that one. And so I thought that would be kind of fun to stream. I haven't done something like that before. Like, that's gonna be quite the undertaking. But I'm like, I feel like my room needs a little sprucing up, you know? Because like not only is it my bedroom, it's also like where I work. So it's my office, you know? And so you want it to be nice. Got that melody stuck in my head. A little darker blue in here. All right, this seems good for now. On the trees, I'm just gonna wash over this a little bit. Add some darker in here. I mean, I guess we actually don't want to add too much attention to this front area. Just because the goal is to be looking up here, you know? Das ist tatsächlich eine coole Stream-Idee. Yeah, I think it could be fun. It's gonna take a bit of prep though. You know what I could do? I should take a picture of my room and then put it in Photoshop and like paint over it so I can like try out different ideas before I actually paint it. That might be a good way to test out some versions. All right, we're gonna hit this playlist up again. All right, reference. All right, rocks. We're doing rocks. Maybe we should darken up the ocean again a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we get that green, dark green. Oh, did I just get paint on my pants? No, we're good. Yeah, Jersey Shore do be looking green. And try and like indicate these rocks a little bit. Because I want the rocks to be lighter. So we gotta make a fair amount of this darker. There we go. You know what, guys? Let's work on the sky. Here's what I don't like. I don't like that I can see all the brush strokes. Not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a good thing. It's just a personal preference. So I think we need to work on painting that. I just add a little more blue in here. You know what? I'm getting lazy. I'm gonna use the paint straight out of the thing. Yeah, that's about right. Grab a fair amount of paint out of here. It's like I need it liquidy enough that we can smooth it. Alright, let's get rid of this. There we go. I mean, in some places like down here, I kind of like that we're using the brush strokes to kind of create like dimension with like the kind of like haziness of the clouds. But up here, it was pretty clear. So I'm gonna just clean this section up a little. There we go. I'm just gonna add a little more water. Thin it out just a hair. Alright, now it's a bit smoother. Yeah, I like that better. And there's a little white here on my palette that's slowly getting mixed into it, so I think it's gonna work as we make our way to this other edge that needs to be slightly lighter. And then we work our way. More white. Let's try and get that activated. There we go. Blend it back into this section. There we go. Yeah, I think it's the strat, guys. Oh, we need some more white paint. Some white in there. Blend it out just a little bit. Into here. Alright, I'm locked in, chat. Because we have some very subtle shifts of color here. I'm trying not to ruin, you know? Alright, let's fix this edge here just a little bit. There we go, clean that up. Alright, how's that look? Not bad from a distance. Alright, we're gonna let that dry and then we might go over the clouds a little bit more. Alright, we gotta deal with this lighthouse though. Because I'm not loving it. Although the rocks are kind of screaming for attention down here. They also look not quite how I want them to be. Let's make a very yellow green here. It's almost kind of an ugly green, but that's actually what we want. I feel like one of the mistakes I made as a beginner is I would not make my greens yellow enough, and you'd be surprised how much more realistic your grass and your trees and everything will look if you were to mix a bit more yellow in with your greens. Now in this case though, like these are cooler, right? And that's like intentional. But there's still a fair amount of yellow in there. So it's learning you know, when to make it cool and when to warm up your colors. I'm just gonna use the same green to make a brown there. Just to darken this edge a little bit. This song is so pretty. Alright, let's warm it up a little bit. That's probably good. Probably enough for that. I'm just gonna bring this rock over up here. There we go. Mein Internet war kurz abgestürzt. Oh no, jetzt bin ich wieder da. Oh, that sucks. But I'm glad it's back. We haven't done too much, so you didn't miss too much, Gecko. We tried to fix the sky a bit. And then I tried to do something with the grass. And the grass still doesn't look too good. But we're working on the rocks again. Yeah, der Song ist wirklich toll. Yeah, it's so pretty. I'm trying to remember. Let me pull up the name of that one that we just listened to. Dude, that was Oh, I Miss You. It's a Minecraft Cherry Blossom Forest theme song. It's on over on Joe's YouTube. If you ever want to check it out. Yeah, I have Joe's I think his YouTube channel linked in the description of the stream. It's either, yeah, I think it's just his YouTube I linked. Yeah, he has a lot of good songs on there. I want him to upload more of his Minecraft ones because they're good. They're really like chill songs. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. We need to layer more on this lighthouse because I feel like our eye doesn't really know where quite to look when we look at this painting. And maybe it's just me, but it's just not feeling quite like it's about the lighthouse as much as I want it to be. So we're gonna brighten it up a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say brighter because it's not going to be. Oh, shoot. I just painted too far over the edge. All right, well, who's to say the lighthouse isn't a little bit thicker? You know what I mean? That's fine, too. Oh, my word. This is stressful. Ooh, my hands are shaking. Okay. We got that side in. Let's do a little bit here. And a little bit in this midsection. Alright, that's better. Let's mix it here with a little bit of white. You know, you think this would make like pink, but it's such a warm red pigment. It almost turns more like orangey brick color, which is actually what we need because it's a bit more natural. I'm just gonna clean my brush, dry it, and then I'm gonna just kind of mix together this line where it changes just a bit here. Ever so slightly. And I'm gonna grab more of the red here. Just kind of bring out this little outline. Oh, that blue paint is still wet. Lesson learned. Did I ruin the sky? I think it's alright. Not me get my hands all in it. Okay. Actually, it doesn't look bad upside down. Oh shoot, chat, is the tower crooked? Oh no. It looks like it's not straight up and down. It's just the camera. Actually, it might be. I think it might just be the camera. Okay, let's pretend it's fine. We're just gonna say it's good. Alright, we need to also... There's like a little window in here, and it's supposed to be dark. And so is this little bit of roof we see here. There we go. Wee little window in there. There is actually a window about here. Let's see if we can put that in there. It's a bit darker. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Alright, here we go. Keep my hands steady. Sorry guys, you won't be able to see too much of this. So we're gonna do the detail work. Oh my gosh. There we go. A little bit in there. Boom, good enough. Alright, as for up here. So there's like these little white pillars that kind of hold up the building. Not the building, but like this little walkway up top. I think I need to re-put that back in. Because we're not really seeing it in this one that I painted. So we're just gonna add little highlights here. There we go. Because I feel like the top is really bothering me. Alright, and then we're gonna grab some of that sky blue color. And let's add a little more white in that actually. Just a wee bit more white. There's actually a bit of the sky behind the red part. Waltz Tango Fries became a follower. Yo, thank you! Thank you for the follow. We're working on very detailed stuff here, and my hands are betraying me. I'm like, hold still, hand. Alright, here we go. We're just gonna reshape a little bit of this here. Reshape this side. I think we need a little more white paint actually. Let's get a little bit more in here. Because the cloud behind it is lighter. Alright, here we go. So we're seeing a little bit of the sky through this part. And I'm just gonna reshape here. Because it's actually kind of like a it's kind of like a fenced in part, right? So you can walk around up here actually in this section, but they put that up so nobody would fall out. Very good. But we need to make sure that we can see it's actually there and that it's part of the structure. But then we get the center is still there, you know? So we have to make sure we don't ignore that fact. Oh, that looks good. That looks pretty darn close to the reference here. One thing we can do, chat. Let me just get some of this paint off my brush before I rinse it out. Let's add a little more detail to the top, because there are like little panes of glass up here. We don't want to go too crazy dark. Let's see if we can do this here. Then I'm gonna go a little darker. So we'll do a little cross section here. There's actually another railing apparently up on this part. Yeah, this is looking better. I don't know why it was kind of bothering me that it didn't look quite right. Oh, chat, here's what I'm noticing. This is technically white, but with the way the shadow is cast, it's gonna be actually a lot darker compared to the sky in the background. So we need to darken this up. That's why our little lighthouse here is kind of like disappearing into the painting, because if you squint at it, you can't even tell the difference between the building and the clouds and the sky in the background. How long have you been painting for? Shoot, how many years has it been? I think, all right, what year are we? We're 2026. I think about 8 years. But when I first started, I wasn't like super serious, so I don't know if that counts. This is kind of like for fun. I would do like Bob Ross follow along stuff. I would say seriously, probably like, actually, you know, I got pretty serious only a year in. So probably like 7 years. Yeah. But I took a kind of like a break from painting for a little bit when I was studying storyboarding. So I'm with streaming, I've been like getting back into painting. So that's why I'm a bit rusty. Full disclosure, guys. I'm still getting back into it, so have mercy. But yeah, that's about how long, if I remember right. You know what I need to do, guys? I need to go in dig out in my closet some of my like OG paintings, and I mean original. I mean like 2018. For a while, what I did, because like buying canvases was expensive, but I wanted to practice, I actually like painted on the back of paper plates for a while just to practice with my acrylics. Yeah, I've painted on a lot of things, but it worked well. Gotta do what you gotta do, because paint supplies and canvases are expensive. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna let that stop me. If it's a surface that paint will stick to, you better believe it. Canvases are so expensive, literally. Yeah, I haven't painted on a real canvas in forever. You know what I did, guys? Let me show you. I don't know what the price is up to now, because this was like years ago, but I bought wood panels, and they're for like people who make like craft stuff. But I bought like they're just about, I think they're like a 1/4 inch question mark, but this was really great for oil painting, and it was much cheaper than a canvas. The only problem is like when you want to hang it, it's a little difficult getting like something to stick into such a thin piece of wood. So there's that. But if you're looking just to practice, yeah, these little, I got it on Amazon, I think. It's just like 1/4 inch like wood panel. I think it's like a 12 by 12 inch. So that's just kind of what I did to save some money. Only thing I did do, chat, I primed the canvas with gesso, so the paint wouldn't like sink into the wood. So you might have to do that. What is it great to paint on? My husband works at a hardware store, and I had him cut up a 4x8 panel into smaller sizes for me. Oh, that was genius! Yeah, good thinking. Yeah, I loved painting on the wood too, because you know when you're painting on canvas, how like the frame goes around it, right? But when you're pushing your brush and you're working the center, I don't like that the canvas will like give. So what I love about the wood is you know, it's really stiff. That's the win. Yeah, but canvases are insane. I remember being in an art store and like looking at the ginormous ones, and they're like, bro, back then, I mean, they were like, were they close to 200? I don't even know. I'm sure they're a lot more now. I haven't been in a physical art store in a hot minute. Yeah, but wood is fun to work with. Oh, I damaged the paper. Well, that's unfortunate. Guys, this painting has been one struggle after another. It doesn't lose tension. Yeah, I also love painting wood coasters. Oh, that's a great idea. What do you do to like seal the painting? Do you use resin? What's a good like, because that would be kind of fun to do. Like, what do you do? Because I know like a cup will like have condensation, and that might ruin the painting. What is your strategy? Let's use a smaller brush here. Alright, chat, we need to darken the red. Actually, I have some... What reds do I have here? What if we use... This feels a little closer. If I mix this with this, I feel like it's gonna be close to our reference. Oh, this needs rehydrated. That's not good. It's getting dry. Guys, I'm still learning how to use gouache. I feel like a lot of the things I do with it, I probably shouldn't be doing. Wait, I just pinned this down and now I need to turn again. I'm not a professional by any means, but I use a clear coat, usually semi-gloss. It is the Liquitex, or I think I pronounced it right, Liquitex brand. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Got you. Are you the next Da Vinci? I'm definitely not. But welcome to chat, Aaron Hayes. Yeah, I kind of want to try. Now you got me thinking, Waltz. What we call you, Waltz Tango? I think I'll call you Waltz Tango. I like your name. It's kind of fun. I might try doing coasters. Where do you get the like the little round coasters to start? Do you end up like, do you cut those on your own? That would be kind of fun, guys. Like, you just inspired me. Because that would be a really nice, gift for family members and friends and stuff. Making like coasters for them. Like maybe like custom ones. My mom loves cows, so I can make cow related ones for her. My sister also likes cows, so I can do 2 cow related ones. And then my younger sister likes cats, so we could do cat ones for her. Alright, I'm just gonna put this paint on really thick, and then we're gonna wet our brush. I use acrylics, and Waltz/Waltzy works. Okay, I got them off Amazon. Alright, I'm gonna have to look for that. Yeah, thank you for the invite. The advice and the inspiration, Waltzy. There's so many fun things we could do. I don't paint as much anymore since I became a mom. Ah, well, that's okay. I can imagine that's hard. You're probably really busy. Alright, that's looking better. We're gonna have to blend it a little bit. Let's add a little darker up here. Kind of straighten that side out a little bit. Guys, I have trouble where I have like so many ideas. And then I'm like, shoot, I need to make time to actually do it. And that's the hard part. Okay. Keep my hand steady. Can I do this left-handed? Let's see if we can do this left-handed, guys. My left hand is usually pretty useless. Oh my word. That feels awkward. Guys, what if I did a whole stream where I just try to do it left-handed? That could be interesting. Teaching myself to be ambidextrous. What do they call that? Yeah, my one brother's left-handed. That's interesting, like some things he'll use his left hand for, and then other things he'll use like right hand. It's like maybe he holds like a pencil with the left, but like a fork with the right. I always find that interesting. I always wonder, I'm like, can I teach myself? But every time I like start, I'm like, no, this is too hard. Might be a good way to like keep me from eating too fast though. It's a good reminder to slow down. Alright, we're just gonna blend this out just a little bit. Get a little bit darker up here. Yeah, that looks much better. One thing I feel like though, it's kind of missing. Is it color? But the reference doesn't have much color in it. So I'm trying to think, how can I add color but not in a way that feels too artificial? You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to think about this one. Alright, I need some lighter paint here. Because the window up in the red section is actually outlined with a little bit of white. There we go, cute. What else, guys? What does this need? Maybe a little... I'm afraid to touch the clouds, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might just leave them. I do like that they look slightly like illustrative. Maybe that's the issue. Like the clouds are giving like illustrative gouache style, but then you get down here and it's really like organic. Maybe what we need to do... Let me use a square brush actually. Maybe what we need to do is similar style with the trees. Instead of painting more trees in, actually what I'm going to do is a little bit of a reverse technique. I'm going to use the sky color behind it and just kind of tap in some of that back. Alright, I'm trying to reference what I can see here in the picture. Just try to make it a little more illustrative. But not too much, because the trees do need to have branches and their own character, you know? What do you think, guys? Is that better or worse? Let's drag some of this out here a little bit. Well, we committed, so it is what it is. My dirty water is getting really, really dirty. Let's add a little more. Pick up some of this white here. Let's layer this up a little bit more. And we'll add some little sections where the sky kind of peeks through. Oh, actually, hold up. I think this is working. Because the vibes of the painting have to match, you know? So maybe I need to go back and work on some of the rocks too. Lighten that up a little bit. Bring this down here. Some lower clouds down there. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's not bad. Let's add a little more highlight back into this section here. A little bit there. Alright guys, here's what I'm thinking. There. I'm thinking maybe we need to layer the trees so they don't look so flat. Because it's just like, it's giving like very boring line of trees. Let's not follow the reference and try and add, let's see here. I want to add some green, like warmer green to it. Let's see what we can do. We don't want to go too crazy. I want to add a little bit of red to dull this down. And a little more of that. We'll add a little bit of this too. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pre-made green. I'm going to cheat, guys, because I don't feel like mixing too much. Alright, that seems good. Gonna try and add in some highlight trees, but without going too wild with it. Gonna try and use big brush strokes. Let's hit the edges of that with, because this is still wet. I think we can work with it. This part of like gouache painting kind of reminds me of a little of acrylics, but also a little of oil painting. I kind of like that about it. Alright, we got our highlights going in, but I feel like they're maybe too strong. That feels so much better. Oh my word. Okay. I'm so glad that's feeling better. It's like, this looks terrible. All right, we need now to do something about this foreground area. So we're just gonna work our yellows in this white in here. Starting to dry. It's alright, we got some water we can add to it here. Did that even do anything? Not 100% sure it did. That's alright, let's mix a little Mix a little red in here. I want to make a brownie orange color. Again, tap those in. There's actually a lot of like dead kind of brush over here. It's not too... It's actually not too green. And then we can kind of try and add a little harmony by blending in some of these little bushes and stuff over here. That's similar color. All right, now I think I want to do is try and add a little texture to the sand, because there was actually a lot of like footprints in it. There was some tiny rocks. It just looks a little too perfect. And I think we need to continue to give it a little bit more texture. By alternating. This could be a terrible idea. Or it'll work out. We're gonna find out. We might need to go back into our greens though here. Reestablish some of the grassy edge there. This looks better. Yeah, we're getting a little more dimension here. All right, let's get these rocks. I'm just gonna go in with red because I don't know why, and I just want it to stand out more from the background. And then we'll top it with a little of this. Just try and give these rocks a little character out here. There we go. Where's my tiny brush? Here it is. Do we make the ocean darker? I don't know about that, guys. I actually might leave it. Let's make a warm, like orangey color. Oh, I hear ducks outside my window. Our ducks have like a little routine where they kind of like different parts of the day, they'll be at different parts of the property. So maybe they'll spend, you know, lunchtime around the pool, and then evenings they kind of like to circle the house. They kind of have their own little routine. I guess it's the time of day that oh, we got dirt in here. There we go. It's the time of the day where the ducks come by. Alright, chat. We're getting close to the end of stream. Would I call this painting finished? Maybe. Am I 100% satisfied with it? No. Is that alright? Absolutely. Because we did choose a reference that wasn't that great. But I wanted to paint, you know, something different. How would you describe gouache painting compared to acrylic? I've never used it before. To me, gouache painting is like, so far, now I'm not that experienced with it. I'm actually just starting. It feels like the combo between like acrylic and watercolor. So like you can apply it really thick and it won't be transparent, but it never dries to the point where, well, it'll fully dry. Like I can touch it, but as soon as you add water, it'll reactivate it, which is like watercolor. But it gives you, you know, that flexibility to layer like you can do with acrylic. Like if you want to layer enough, you can put white paint over black, and you can't do that with watercolor. Honestly, I'm really loving gouache. I started with watercolors. Well, actually, way back I did acrylic. But then I got into watercolors. But watercolor always has that problem where if you lose your highlights, there's no going back. But gouache paints, like acrylic, you can use the white paint and kind of like layer and build it. But it always has that workability. So if I were to wet my brush and go into this section, I could lift up the pigment. So always workable. I highly recommend it. Yeah, very interesting. It is. It is. And one thing I was learning too, so these are like the gouache paints that I got. They were on Amazon. I think they're like student grade. This is the brand. But they come, some come, I guess like where you leave them hydrated. But I saw people who took them out of the little like trays, I guess you want to call it. And you can let them dry like watercolors. You just have to reactivate them with water. And so when I start painting with the gouache painting, I usually use my dry palette and I'll use really like thin coats to just kind of like block in the area like I would with watercolor. And then as you want to build more layers, then you can start using your thicker paints. That's what I've noticed people doing. But if you work your dry paints long enough, they will end up like rehydrating. So you can still keep using your dry paints. If you want to layer, it's just going to take more time. But yeah, das werde ich super geworden. Thank you, Gecko. Yeah, we rescued the tree line. It looked terrible, but now it looks not too bad. I'm thinking, what does this need to call it done? I don't really know. Maybe it just needs me to not look at it for a while. That's usually how I am with a painting I don't love. Where I'm like, it's not great. It's not terrible, but not 100% how I pictured it. And so usually I just have to step away from it for a while. And then when I come back, I'll be like, you know, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I recommend trying the gouache if you want, Waltzy. They're really fun. They're also like easy to clean your brushes. You know, just like watercolor, like it comes right out of the bristles, which is amazing because I hate washing brushes. It takes so much time. This was actually supposed to be a plant here. I just realized that. You know what? That plant adds nothing to the composition, which means we're getting rid of it. Let's get rid of it. If it isn't doing something, we get rid of it. Try and put that in there. There we go. I'm not sure I love the rock line though. It's okay. This rock's kind of weird. I just realized I didn't fix this one. I'll have to check them out sometime. I think I will go broke if I had another medium I work with. Yo, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, definitely if you have a lot already. I know what you mean. It's so easy to pick up new like mediums and hobbies, but then it's like to actually use them and then your bank account suffers for it. Yeah, I totally feel that. Not to encourage you to make a bad decision though, which maybe it wouldn't be a bad decision, but they were pretty affordable. I think it was only like $30 for the whole set. And it came with brushes, which aren't too bad. Yeah, I was saying to Gecko earlier that these are cheap brushes that just came with it, but they're not losing their bristles. Really shocked about that. It is a problem. That's not bad at all. Yeah. Yeah, yo, buying art supplies, that's a rabbit hole. It is definitely a rabbit hole. I do feel like I want to add a little more of this pinkish red color in here to the rocks. Just to make it a little more interesting. I know you're not really supposed to touch the surface with your hands, but here I am doing it. Just gonna lighten this section up here a little bit. Alright, I think this is done. We just gotta sign it. We just gotta give us a little signature here. Alright, chat. It's the time of the show where Emma forgets how she writes her signature. So Emma has to dig through her book and find the reference of how I do my signature. Also, guys, we need to do another stream where we do like these trollings again, because this was fun. This was fun. These turn out so cute. I'm almost finished with this notebook, so we'll have to do a notebook tour stream. There are some bad drawings in here, though. Like, look how bad this is. That's Gerald from Finding Dory. You know, you have good days and bad days. You also have days where you can't find what you're looking for, and that is today. Da, 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 da. Maybe I didn't have it in this notebook. Oh no, wait, here it is. Alright, so here's how I think I did it. Because it did change it a little bit. Let's sign it in kind of like this browny red color here. Alright, here goes nothing. This is the part that's hard, guys. Because my handwriting is terrible. Alright, we gotta make sure everything fits. There we go. Okay, not bad. We got an E. Yeah, I kind of like redeveloped how I write my signature a couple months back, but I'm still trying to remember how I did it. Shoot, did I make that too big? Alright, so I usually drag out the center line a little bit longer. Well, maybe not that long. Alright, we're committed now. And then we do the M, which starts on the line. Do I do capital A? No, I don't. Oh my word, this is hard. Alright, and then we get an S. How do I draw the B? I think I did this. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I started drawing the K before the C. Hold up, chat. We can remedy this. Boom. It's like it never happened. Kind of. We just smeared it everywhere. Well done. We'll just make it look like it was part of the plan. Oh yeah, there we go. No one will be the wiser. Well, except for all you guys who saw me literally do it. You guys will all be knowing. Alright, that's not terrible. I feel like I botched up the E here, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna put a date on it because that's what I like to do. H. What are we? 12? 26. There we go. Probably should have drawn that. Probably should have drawn that smaller. It's alright. Alright guys, we're gonna do key takeaways from this painting. Number one, I started out like the first hour of the stream way too timid. I need to be brave with gouache painting. Gouache painting, what I'm learning is not watercolors. it's okay to make mistakes and put on the paint more thick than you think you need, because that's the beauty of gouache. And I don't think I am really like utilizing the best parts of gouache. So that's key takeaway 1. Key takeaway 2, I say this every time I paint a painting that's a terrible reference. Emma, choose a reference with good lighting, because I'm setting myself up for failure. So that's key takeaway 2. And then key takeaway 3, I need to paint more buildings. I'm really not used to painting buildings. Wir haben am Anfang aber auch viel gechattet. Ah, das stimmt. Vielleicht hatte dich das abgelenkt. Yeah, we were yapping. But I mean, that's part of the fun, you know? And then I also get like a lot of great ideas from you guys. So it was like a win. It's like a win. Do we even call that a win-lose? I think it was just a straight win. But I think, yeah, that's my 3 takeaways. We gotta be more brave, guys. Also, before we leave today, I want to recommend a YouTube channel that I found recently that I am obsessed with watching. After I clean my brushes, I will show it to you guys. Well, I won't be able to show you because I don't have my screen hooked up. Eines Tages kann ich auch mal so malen. Tolles Bild. Danke, Gecko. Yo, Gecko, you're gonna be there in no time. Because I feel like you got a lot better mindset than me when I started. The mindset's a lot when it comes to learning, you know? I also, one thing I regret in the beginning was not taking advantage of the internet to learn. But Gecko, you're on a good path, because you're also doing the work, but you're also learning from other people through other resources. And so you'll probably be surprised how quickly you advance. All right, I think that's every brush I used. Danke, ich hoffe, dass ich genug Talent habe, aber Übung macht den Meister. Ja, das stimmt. I don't believe in talent, guys. Talent is pursued passion. Talent doesn't exist. Because, you know, I feel like I'm a great example. I did not have the talent. My 2 other sisters had the talent, technically, because they were just better at drawing from the get-go, you know? But none of them pursued it, and they didn't have the passion for it, but I did. And I was like, shoot, I like doing this even though I suck at it. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep trying. And that's what I did. And that's what I'm still doing, because chat, let's be honest, I definitely haven't reached Da Vinci level yet. But we're gonna get there. Yo, one of these days. We're gonna get there. Das ist ein interessanter Ansatz. So habe ich das noch nie gesehen. I needed to hear that. Thank you. Yo, I think we all have to remind ourselves. Today I have to remind myself too, because I'm a little frustrated that this painting sorry with the camera shake. My painting did not come out how I wanted it to be. But we had fun doing it. And you know, maybe this isn't the last painting I paint, Lord willing, you know? And so yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't also a quote from me, guys. I forget where I heard it, but somebody said that talent is just pursued passion. And it's true. That's an interesting approach. I've never looked at it that way before. Yeah. Yeah, I see. The problem is, guys, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in a family where everybody believed in like talent you're born with. And so, you know, you hear it a lot from people where they're like, oh my gosh, you have a gift. You have this or that. There's some magic you got. And I think that's fun and all, but for me, it was like kind of discouraging because it felt like I was either born with it or I wasn't. And if I love something so much, I wasn't gonna let someone telling me I wasn't born with the gift keep me from doing it. And after I started learning and getting better, it became pretty apparent that I was like, wait a minute. If I wasn't born with this special, you know, given gift for art, but I'm still able to paint and create and, you know, learn and improve my skills, maybe, just maybe they were wrong. And, you know, maybe all I have to do is just practice. And I too can appear like I have some magical talent that I was just born with. But I do agree with the sense where some people talk about how like some people are just more like interested in certain things. Like some people are just more interested in being crafty. Some people are more interested in, you know, like doodling and drawing. So I definitely had the interest in like creating and building in general, but I wasn't like someone who could sketch well or draw or anything. So that was kind of interesting to see that I could improve in a field that I really didn't have any, you know, born talent in. So yeah, guys, don't let anyone tell you can't do something. If you love doing it, do it. All it takes is time. And guys, I just noticed something it's not right. What was I saying? Yeah, it just takes time. And also, like, don't compare yourself to others, because I forget whose quote this is, but comparison is the killer of joy. And comparison killed my joy for many, many years. But now I'm like, you know what? Every time I feel that like creeping in feeling that I'm trying to like, oh shoot, my art looks terrible compared to this person, you know? Try to be like, well, if I really like that way of painting and I'm jealous of how they're doing it, maybe I should look into like learning from them, studying their artwork, you know? And then before you know it, you like fall in love with their artwork, and then you start to fall in love with your own artwork, because your artwork is kind of just like a development of all your favorite styles and artists all worked into one. So I don't know if that makes sense. Das sehe ich auch so. Man sollte sich nie mit anderen vergleichen, sondern seinen eigenen Weg gehen. So true. It's tough though, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There are days where I'm just like, man, I'm never gonna measure up to you know, the pros. And maybe I never will. But if I love what I'm making and it's making me happy, and also like, I think you guys have all seen this before. You make something for somebody, they don't care if you haven't worked at Disney and if you're not a pro. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you took time out of your day using your skills and love for artwork, and you made something for me. And then that's good enough. All right, there we go. I fixed it. There was like this weird line like right here along here, and it did not look good. All right, we are going over stream time. I'm hustling here, guys. Trying to fix this. Oh my word. It's a tiny brush. Let's try and blend that out. We got a little bit here too, actually. I have a tendency to accidentally leave little white lines around objects in my paintings. My watercolor teacher always kind of she always noticed that. I became an example in class one day, let's just say that, where she's like, see this, what Emma's doing? Don't do that, class. I'll never forget that because it was really funny. She was really nice though. She wasn't being mean. She was being funny. It was a really chill class. It wasn't like a college class or anything. So it was mostly like me and some like older ladies like there. So it was really chill. But I'll never forget, that was funny. She's like, don't do this, guys. Like, Emma's the one in class known for doing that. And I'm still doing it to this day. Guys, I know I said I was done, but then I kept seeing these little tiny details that are driving me crazy. Okay, let me find that artist, guys. I want to show you their stuff because they're gouache artists and their stuff is amazing. Let me see. Let me pull up my YouTube here. They're so good at gouache paints. I think their name was like Christina something. No. What was their name? I'm gonna find it. Give me a second to cook, chat, because I think you'll enjoy their videos. Are kind of like, some of them are ASMR style where you just hear like the paint brushes on the paper, which is really chill, or some of them have music while she paints. Es gibt auch viele Dinge, von denen Gitarrenlehrer sagen würden, man soll sie niemals machen, und ich mache sie trotzdem, wenn ich Gitarre spiele. Es ist wichtig, seinen eigenen Stil zu finden. Yeah, maybe my style is having the little white lines. That's true. It's funny how like little things like teachers will say will stick with you for the rest of your life as you're doing stuff. Okay, I found her channel. Alright, I don't have my computer screen hooked up to stream right now, so I'm just gonna write it in I'm gonna write her name down here in the book, and then you guys can look her up if you're interested in someone who does gouache painting. Where are my... oh, here it is. All right, her name on YouTube is Kristine, and then a V. This is her YouTube channel, Christina V. And I think it says in her bio, she's a professional art director and concept artist, which is what I love. You can tell she does concept art when you watch her videos. With credits on animated shows and films. Let's go. Her videos are no scripts, no chatter, just pure creative energy, good vibes, and meditative joy of making things. It says to expect sketching, painting, experimental fun, and travel videos. Oh, interesting. I haven't seen those yet. That capture the world through the artist's lens. Sit back, get inspired, and enjoy the journey. Really recommend her channel. I like to put on her videos while I'm like studying languages, or even like if I'm painting something. Just kind of like watching her process, kind of like, I feel like it's helping me understand how to use gouache better. Danke den Channel werde ich mir ansehen. Thanks, I'll check it out. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, Gecko. You can use probably a lot of those techniques too with watercolors, since you're using those. So that might also be interesting. All right, guys. We finished the painting. We did it. I must go, but thank you for the chill vibes. Yo, not a problem. Thanks for stopping by, Waltzy. It was nice talking to you. I feel like I'm inspired to try painting on some different surfaces again. Might be fun to do coasters on stream. That's like a really, really good idea. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Guys, I'm gonna hit the road because I got some projects I need to work on. And we finished this. But tomorrow, I don't know what we're doing for tomorrow's stream, chat. We're doing something creative. Maybe, probably digital art. I don't know if we're going to be doing painting again. Maybe until Friday? We might do painting again on Friday. I don't know at this point. But if you guys have any recommendations, you're like, hey, Emma, I wish you would stream this or that, let me know. And I'll maybe tomorrow or the day after at some point do a stream for that. Danke für den tollen Stream und bis zum nächsten Mal. Morgen bin ich wieder dabei. Sounds good, Gecko. Thanks again for hanging out and chatting. And everybody, I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Until Thursday, everybody, keep on creating, and I will be seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.